Hello everyone and welcome back to the EGFC. We are back and ready for our last match of the day. The University of Colorado going up against the newcomers to the EGF, the Montana University Grizzlies. And this one, another Central Conference battle that could really mean a lot to both of these teams, both in the middle of that pack, trying to rise up and challenge the top of that conference.
Yeah, and you got to start from the new with your Montana team, trying to challenge a team that's been around for quite a while. University of Colorado, and a veteran win in this league, a veteran when attending the playoffs even, looking to get back there once again with some familiar names and some new faces getting ready to square off in this Central Conference match.
Colorado, they will be starting with Slatty, and excuse me, for the side of Montana, this is Ridoku going first. That Sonic is Ridoku, and Slatty, the Ness, the option for today. We've typically seen Slatty go for Pokemon Trainer and Roy as a kind of pocket. The Ness is on rare occasion. It has made some appearances, but it is very rare to see. So I'm curious to see how Slatty plays today against Ridoku.
It could be I would say it's a matchup thing, but of course it starts off with a double blind, so he may just be feeling the Ness and feeling ready to go with a character that's much better at trading and intercepting with some of Sonic's more aggressive tools, trying to keep the damage output to a minimum to keep this lead as low as possible, as we get a very nice angle to head straight to ledge and a challenge to get right back to middle.
Percent just about equal until that up B, and Slatty, that is an awkward trade there, back at trading with something from Ridoku. I didn't quite catch what. Both players survive, and both players will continue to survive at these high percents until that forward air, it does do the trick, and Ridoku drops his first stock.
See some ledge play, but the jump into the homing attack gets Ridoku back in the middle, but it's going to be a tricky side of things. I said grab from both sides and whiff, and it's all about how you can extend this lead. Percentages matter so much against and for Sonic. But right now, it seems like Slatty is using those big hitboxes to contest everything that Ridoku wants to do to try and slim this down as much as possible. Those up smashes are whiffing twice over. Slatty's patience when it comes to landing is proving dividends, making Ridoku start to panic and start to press a lot of buttons very quickly.
Yeah, and that's a good grab. This could be a big follow-up. Interesting kind of follow-up with the neutral B, opting to do so twice, and Slatty, again, surviving at these very high percents means he's earning himself a lot of extra credit. Should be able to still make it back, but it feels like that homing attack will end up connecting there, and that will end up taking the first stock off of Slatty. But I was going to say, it felt like the spacing was just a little bit off for Ridoku. We saw numerous up smashes and forward smashes, just not quite connecting, but very close to doing so.
And we have to see them tighten that up a little bit. Gets the Nair into the F tilt and a spin charge confirm on top of that to try and make up this damage. That's a real good starter as the percentage goes back into his favor and gives Ridoku a chance to evade more than he is approaching, as Slatty very, very reliant on some of these roll-ins to get by, but the down tilts come in clutch for a ton of damage and a way to intercept the backwards facing Sonic, unable to snap to ledge. Oh, but the air dodge doesn't go far enough. Had to result to the PK Thunder 2, but didn't want to commit to it since Ridoku was right there waiting to intercept.
With that, Ridoku takes the lead. But a very high percentile. Have to be very careful here.
And much more tense. It's a fair into the grab, but no back throw. And no connection on the PK flash, but the trap is 3 layers deep. Able to hold on able to keep it close with the up smash. Percentages are staying close, but Salati's looking for one of these starters off of a stray hit, and it's clipped by the spin charge. Double forward air. Rudoku trying to get some damage in his corner, trying to hold on to this steady progression. Okay, caught by Ness up there. That's a ton of damage, and not falling for the classic trap of the PK Thunder. Just getting right out of there with the spring.
Good back air to turn that situation around. The yo-yo going to be dangerous. Not going to take the stock quite yet. And Rudoku fast falling to his demise. And it is Slatty to take game 1.
That looked like a lost jump with a down air in the... yeah, he teched off. This is a down air. Up B into down air without a jump. So it was just gone. Goodbye. My people need me.
Yeah, and overall, game number 1, it felt like a large portion of this game was just decided by the fact that Slatty was able to survive for so long. And, I mean, he's at 179 by the time he gets hit by this homing attack. And then, you know, stock number 2, yes, Slatty does, you know, he air dodges back to ledge and he's not able to survive as long. But still, by that time, the damage had been done.
Yeah, it was a back and forth kind of experience. What it felt like for this set. Constantly, like, one player would take a long lead, and then it would even up ever so progressively up until the stock was dropped, and a player would really start to extend a little bit more. But that's how often it feels like with Sonic. Like when Sonic's in the lead can stay for a long time. But with Sonic at a deficit, it can be very swingy depending on how the players want to approach it. And it seemed like Rudoku was conscious of the percentages, but wanted to make the lead stick instead of just taking something like a 5% lead and dashing out of it. He wanted to hold that advantage and make sure they had something really going for them before committing to what Sonic's game plan can often resort to.
Yeah, no, I agree. As we get ready for game number 2, what do you think that means in terms of changing up the game plan for the side of Montana here, down 1?
For Montana, you're stuck in a pretty precarious spot because against Sonic has a lot of consistent counter picks that they want to go with. But in the rule set that is being displayed here, it is a 3-ban rule set, meaning that FD, Kalos, and Town and City can all be cut off, forcing Sonic into a little bit of a precarious spot. And I love this twofold coming out from Slatty. You're seeing Rudoku's switch over to Smashville as the pick, and you're going that character that you know is insanely good on Smashville. All 3 Pokemon adore this stage for different and similar reasons, and if your opponent's going to counterpick here, well, you have free reign for this character swap.
The switch to the tried and true Pokemon trainer, we'll have to see how it goes, as Rudoku getting that quick combo off, and Slatty, love the tether cancel there to try and mix up Rudoku, but he just ends up shielding it. Wanted the spike on the tether as well, but not going to be able to find it. And Slatty at the early deficit here, kind of forced to these corners.
At this point, the mix-up will be actually going to ledge for Slatty, who has 3 times now gotten by with the tether cancel mix-up, but that top of the hit of Nair, and that's another jump gone for Rudoku, as Slatty gets a free switch off below the stage and gets another one in the means to avoid the down smash and still find a punish with the Ivysaur back air. Oh, he's very well placed on Rudoku's own back air, intercepting the tether, keeping this game not just even, but that spin charge combo will be for a quick 30.
And again, just showing off the tether cancels and making it hard to predict where Slatty is going to go.
Sorry, just chuckling at Squirtle's water gun noise is just really guttural.
Yeah. Let's see.
Slatty getting back to center. Holding onto this platform pressure, but I love how Rudoku has been getting out of danger really effectively with that up B. Ideally, you're not using your jump, but that's a jump gone for Rudoku. Yet the early up B, the early use of that spring, his management with up special has been amazing. It's keeping his jump that can sometimes be the tricky part.
Slatty right now with a little bit of a lead as he's going to find that up air on the Charizard to take that stock off the board. So Rudoku now forced to his last stock, and look at Slatty continue to try and pressure here. And just the movement from Slatty is very impressive, but Rudoku, I mean, again, for all those tether cancels, you can't really find a clean way to punish. Now he finds the ability to do so with that up smash, but it's not going to be able to seal away the stock quite yet. And with Charizard off stage, it's very dangerous that up B doesn't connect. That up smash will, but the heavy body continues to live.
Oh, the grab whiffs on two sides, but the roll behind into grab will keep... Okay. You know, you watch someone try and flare blitz across the stage back and forth, and you think, yeah, now is the time. Like, I seen him do it the third time, time to punish. You have to wait till the move is over. Or if you have some particular disjoints. Flare blitz as a hitbox isn't usually that large, but if you're gonna jump straight into it, then yeah, you're gonna feel the pain a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it caught me off guard too. I was thinking, well, I guess he got hit by it. I don't know where Rudoku wanted to go. Maybe he just wanted to jump over it and mistimed it. Whatever the case may be, Rudoku ends up dropping that game, and because of that, Colorado, they take the first set here and earn themselves a couple of points to boot. So good opening start for Colorado, and for Rudoku, well, there were moments where he looked really good, but there were also some times where it just kind of felt like he was a little lost in his game plan.
Yeah, just getting kind of overwhelmed by some of the situations. This counter pick obviously not being his ideal one into Pokemon Trainer for sure. Just that center platform offering so much for means of defense and anti-air for Slatty, and combo extension on the same vein. But they played it very well up until this just lapse in judgment. They were making a slow and steady comeback, like building that, chipping away at that lead, to the point where if you're forcing Slatty onto a last stock situation, you don't feel particularly great approaching that with Charizard, Squirtle, or Ivysaur, and it would depend on how it would unfold from there. But that's a completely different universe, as Slatty does take it with a 5-point lead to start it off. Meme Hack and Endure going to be approaching next for University of Montana and Colorado, respectively.
Yeah, Meme Hack is going to make his second appearance for the side of Montana. He played Chrom last time he was on stream, and he did end up losing that set, but the Chrom is a character, again, that we don't really see a lot of here at the EGF. I can really only think of one other Chrom, and that would be Flapjack from Canisius College. So curious to see how Meme Hack plays, if he does things a little differently than Flapjack, or if it's more or less the same. On the other side, N, I believe, being locked in for Colorado. N has been, the kind of standout performer, at least for me, when I look at this Colorado roster, new as of this season, and so far undefeated, and he's got some big names under his belt too, some big 3-stock victories. He even beat MIA, who was the MVP of the championship match for Mississippi State when they battled against them. So he is no slouch. This Robin, it is terrifying to play against.
Oh, did they change their tag, or is that the same? It's because N
Versus Endure. I mean,
well,
to be honest, it's
not Endure, but I feel like this Robin is familiar because I remember last year last season rather, there being a Robin player that even if the team wouldn't fully coalesce and break through, there was always this Robin that made a difference. And hey, I'm ready to see it as they go up against their spiritual other in the Chrom, where it's tough to see how Chrom is going to progress, because Chrom from a meta standpoint, because Chrom has all of the tools to want to play this Roy style game plan where you're rushing down, you're blitzing people with your speed and disjoints. But that consistency on the sword, not to mention the ease of which Chrom is able to move around, can often let Chrom play a more defensive game, not having to rely on those sweet spots to really turn the game around. And it'll be interesting to see how MemeHack wants to play, but if I recall correctly, they're ready, able, and willing to start swinging.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how they play. Again, we don't have a ton of notes on MemeHack because he's, I mean, this is only his second appearance, so maybe the Chrom was just a kind of a one-time thing to see how it does. He could opt for, any other character, but well, I mean,
number.
Yeah, right. It's just we'll have to see. In the broad scope of things, while we have a moment, these are two teams in that Central Conference that kind of got reworked because the Big Sky Conference joined the EGF, and these are two teams that could really use the victory. Colorado, you mentioned that they are, one of the big name programs here at the EGF, and that's because they were in the Independent Conference Grand Finals and they made top 4 of the national bracket. But this season, it has been a tougher grind for them at 5-5 overall and 1-1 in conference play. They're currently sitting at 5th. They really, if they're going to be back to that level of play, they have to find a way to win games like these. And MemeHack opting for the Diddy Kong this time around, a very different type of matchup.
Yeah, and but a respectable one at that. Your character that's able to play a lot more flexibly and go into neutral a lot better with Robin, on top of having just really good up-close buttons to contest Robin's insane range on that Levin sword. I don't know if any of y'all in the chat and you, Soy, have seen the range on Levin Nair, but it outranges things like Shulk forward air. And that's crazy.
That is actually wild. I was unaware that it covered that much space, but now that you say it, it makes sense in my head. And oh my, the back air connects too right before the sword expires, or right as the sword comes back, I should say, and the strong hitbox comes through, and MemeHack loses his first stop.
I like the transition of play here for N. They acknowledge that your Thunder Tome is going to be your best friend in these neutral scenarios on top of the utility of the Levin sword. And this electrical gameplay doesn't have to start and finish with simply Thunder and L Thunder, but there's a lot more usage of Arc Thunder and Thoron at the start in this game 1, just to cover a ton of space and utilize it as a means of, as a way that doesn't clank with Banana and cover beyond full screen. Nowhere is safe from this Robin.
That was, like you said, the coverage of that play really well done. The down B even getting some use as well there to try and siphon a little bit of percent back, and now kept to the corner, knowing that every stock is important at 128 now. Still able to chip away. And the management of all these books, too, is really well done, but they do fall as their up B lands them on stage, and MemeHack is there to punish.
And the best part of some of the best tools that Robin has in disposal isn't the spells within the book, it's the physical book themselves, as that item management is part of what gives Robin an extra level of depth But sometimes all it takes is a little bit of turnaround forward smash when you're able to take space. And I want to look at that one again because it's so simple yet so deviously effective, which is quite fitting of a strategist.
I mean, well, listen, I was shocked at this moment because it didn't even register in my brain. I was like, okay, yeah, forward smash. He got hit by it. That's fine, right? No, he's at 88. He's by the ledge. That's actually just a kill move. With that, it's shocking to me that this character has such raw kill power.
And we're seeing this spot, right? Like this Arc Thunder that we're gonna rewind a little bit. This Arc Thunder that's being thrown out, it forces a jump. This forces a response. Ignore the circle. My drawing's not necessarily the greatest. This forces a response out from Meme Hack here. And Meme Hack does what you usually expect when you see Arc Thunder. Since it decimates shield, they jump. And Diddy Kong does very well in the air, so jumping is a natural response to something like this. But as we let this play out, and as we see the response, that jump by and of itself, and Robin's not a quick character on the ground, but that jump lets N take space. They know the response from Meme Hack was to go over it, so they took the low road and took the ground that Meme Hack gave. And Diddy does thrive very well in this grounded game plan with Banana in under their control. So Meme Hack, seeing that Meme Hack took the bait forward to try and jump over and be aggressive, N was able to continuously presume that they were going to stay aggressive, especially since Banana was, I believe, located around this area. So they have Banana in hand and they're looking to stay on the offense, especially in such a proximity. So all it took was a turn. Banana wasn't over there, but they were willing to stay aggressive because they are already committed to that option, which was a baited out from N to begin with. It's that next level stuff of staying ahead of Diddy Kong, who can be so dominant in one-to-one situations with their good frame data and mobility, that Robin really needs to keep ahead of this matchup, and N definitely 2 steps at this point.
And it's that type of play that has really allowed N to thrive in this format, right? Just the smart movement and the management of all those spells too on this character in particular that have really caused a lot of trouble for a lot of players in this league. And so for Meme Hack, he's got to find a way to get the job done here, but it is not going to be any easier. You talked about how that Banana was not available on that last stock, and here, and holding on to it, a crucial part of his kit gone by the wayside now.
Oh, didn't have the Fire Tome, but mixed up with the Wind Tome instead. That Rapid Jab doesn't get a ton of use, but hard DI in gets Meme Hack, gets that first stock off of Meme Hack without them even realizing it. Oh, damage.
And all that damage off of one mistech as well. The neutral B of N right now just doing so much work. That was an awkward clank of the side B, but Meme Hack will take it as he's got N in the corner. He's still trying to find a way to take this stock, but not willing to pull the trigger on anything.
They're being very, very careful as they're looking for some shield break shenanigans with some of their Arc Thunder placement. What has transitioned from a very Thoron-based matchup has gone a lot more into the Arc Thunder and L Thunder ranges as Meme Hack tries to be a little bit more forward with their gameplay.
Ooh. I think N wanted to catch the Banana there, but could not do so, and he will fall into that forward smash. So Meme Hack takes stock number 1 off of N's chart there, but he is at 109, and he'll just eat a neutral B for it. Meme Hack really struggling to get it done as that up B clanks with the stage, explodes, and he cannot get back.
Yeah, and Meme Hack having to take a moment on the platform as they continuously just feel oppressed by some of these options that and is visually showing off, able to heal even despite being at 0. Just that's where Robin can feel so devastating. You're on the back of an amazing set of aerials, an increasingly flexible resource loop going with all of these spells, and every time you have to worry about thunder, you have to worry about fire comes in and it is equally as explosive, and then the 11th sword comes back. 130 now as Thoron is on the deck and used immediately, but Memehack can't get close without eating another version of thunder.
Memehack, he's working on borrowed time here at 140 and at only 51%, and that one should do it. That one is gonna seal the deal in this second set, and with another 2-stock victory, put another one on the board, and Colorado a big early lead.
Yeah, I mean, what's there more to say, but what looked like utter control come out from N. And MVP was Thoron of all spells, not usually the one you see, and not usually the first spell you think of for Robin. Oftentimes it's Arc Fire and the Levin Sword that is so devastating, and the early variations of Thunder being normal Thunder and L Thunder getting so much attention since they are so quick. But since Memehack slowly but surely wanted to play a more full stage type of game, get the chances to pull Banana and to utilize it, Thoron blasted through that plan and so much more.
Yeah, and you could tell once Memehack was on his last stock, like this up B does not go well. And there's not a lot of options here, actually, because look at the spacing of N on the side B. That fire goes right to the ledge. So I think that can 2-frame as well. So by trying to ride the stage up to that platform or up to the ledge itself, it just makes the situation even more difficult for Memehack, because he's probably going to get hit by that fire even if he does, get to that ledge in the first place. And just on that last stock in general, you could tell Memehack was just kind of, lost, going, what do I do here? How do I get in? How do I get anything going? And was, like you said, in control, it felt like, from start to finish.
Yeah, it was getting very, very tough for N to just sit down and think about what to do. It comes with a little bit of matchup experience, and to put it bluntly, it comes with a little bit of just getting outplayed. Like you can see it and acknowledge it, and that's the first step of growth, by the way, acknowledging when you got outplayed and trying to learn from it. But it's hard in the moment when you're sitting there with control in your hand thinking, man, nothing I have done has worked effectively, and it's time. It might be time to go back to the drawing board, because I don't think Diddy against Robin is bad on paper, but it's going to take a little bit more tinkering before that Diddy is ready for a match, ready for the run back.
Yeah, certainly, Memehack had moments in that set, but they were, again, kind of few and far between, and did not play perfectly, but he certainly played on lockdown the entire time. Just from like we said, from start to finish, and played a complete game, and Memehack could not get anything going. He was locked out of anything that Diddy could really, that Diddy really thrives off of.
Yeah, I love how you put that. Like, a complete game is exactly the right word for it, and hopefully University of Colorado can keep that completion status, as the University of Montana still has a nice 0 waiting in their scoreboard. But while they are doing a button check, the next pair will be Zerosian and Rald coming out for Colorado and Montana respectively, trying to break through that, break the ice and break through the ceiling to get on the board is Rald. But Zerosian feeling pretty comfortable, might just be riding the wave of his teammates' energy.
We'll have to see. When we've interviewed Colorado after a couple of their victories, we asked them, if among their roster, if anyone they thought on their roster was like a hidden boss of sorts, and they cited Zerosian as that guy, as that type of player. And Zerosian this season, although he's 1-5, he has been tasked with a lot of the heavy work, right? He's gone up against some of the the EGF higher ups. Think Yosefu from Mississippi State. They think Mr. Man, I believe, as well. Some of the best players on a lot of these other teams. That has been the task for Zerosian a lot of the time, and so that's why that record might be showing maybe not the case. But his Samus has looked really, really good this season. On the flip side of that, for Montana, Rald 1-1 so far on the Greninja, so another Greninja appearance here today. And I'm curious to see, because again, we haven't seen a ton of Rald, and we've seen kind of two types of Greninjas, the ones that go for a lot of combos and the ones that play a little bit more of that patient game. So where does Rald fall on that scale? Is he the in-your-face type of Greninja, or is he the more patient?
It'll be tricky to see how the matchup will flat out go, even if it's in spite of playstyle. Because while Greninja has access to some very good tools for full screen pressure with some of these early water shurikens, keeping out of Samus's range and keeping away from Samus's just raw tools is easier said than done. Charge Shot is overtuned, is putting it lightly.
Making an appearance there, and Rald already at 107, and we're just over, or just approaching 40 seconds into the match. Zerosian has not really been hit all that much, and Rald trying to stall out here along the ledge. He is able to make it back, but the counter doesn't land, and the up throw won't do it quite yet. Rald surviving, but at 153, this is a hard, opening for Rald.
Good spacing on that forward air, but not finding the appropriate punish as 171 now. Mini charge shot into dash attack should be a solid combo. Wonder if that jab was a misinput. But there is the dash attack roll on the whiffed shadow sneak. Okay, solid track down and some good damage, and the mix up into the grab nonetheless. Rald is starting to put together something crazy. It's going for a deep back air. Doesn't commit to the second one, doesn't keep going for this edge guard, and lets Zerosian back onto ledge, which can be a position of strength for Samus if played correctly.
Now Zerosian up in those kill percentages, and Rald opting not to go for that forward air, instead the water shuriken, and trying to pressure off stage once again with that up B, but won't find it. Gets the dash attack, but still no heavy moves landed until the outside hitbox of that up smash connects, and it's just enough to get the job done. Stock number 1 is off the board.
I like how Zerosian is simply moving, though, charging back and forth, just waiting to see how Rald wants to commit. Rald, however, overcommitting in that string, and gets a nice 49, but the decision, holy, he just turned it around and did it anyway. Tried it again, and it worked out all the same. The shadow sneak punishing Zerosian's lack of buttons in defense, and Rald is starting to put together some offense of his own with a taunt, looking for a dash attack into a back air, and he's going to try and close out the stock yet again, but Zerosian takes their time.
Ooh, that was dangerous. I thought that neutral B was going to put him right into the swinging arms of Rald, nearly getting the drag down into the up smash. Maybe this time around. Note the roll away just barely gets him out of dodge there, but the up airs continue. And now Zerosian at 105. He has a lot of work to be done here, but he's pressed to the corner once again. The flood comes through, and the down smash connects, and Rald will take game 1.
What a turnaround, landing a setup or landing one of these crazy combos of an offensive character can be. Because Zerosian looked so strong in the start, looked like they had so much awareness and presence on stage. But as we see the down smash come in. That second stock for Rald, after getting spiked for being too greedy, got greedy again, and it worked out in complete favor.
So that first stock you're seeing here was taken by the dash attack, but yeah, this was the huge turnaround. The ability to spike him off stage. Actually, no, this is Zerosian losing his stock to that up smash. Just kind of the outside hitbox of it, but that spike off stage, that's when you thought, okay, Zerosian is here to play. He's not messing around anymore, especially off of that shadow sneak, right? That's, like you said, you thought maybe there was a chance, but does he get footstooled here? No, the up air doesn't connect, and actually the spacing around it allows for that down air to be landed. That is crazy.
Yeah, and a great turnaround from Zerosian, who it felt like from that point on would be in control, but all it takes for Greninja to get started is one of those, and fully charged Water Shuriken into Shadow Sneak. That alone gave Rald a sense of momentum and a sense of fluidity in his own, and fluidity and self-confidence to go for more offensive plays and start to smother and catch Samus's landings, which is her Achilles heel sometimes. Being floaty and heavy can make her weird to combo, but it doesn't make her hard to catch for some very solid strings. And Greninja's dash attack is a house when it comes to catching landings.
Very much so. We saw it a little bit in that first game, but we'll have to see its use here in game number 2, as both, again, still relatively even in that percent game, but Zerosian finding that dash attack, forcing Rald off stage, wanted the jab, no follow-up, the turnaround of the sweet spot up smash, nearly finding the stock. Maybe this drag down? No, numerous times Zerosian has been able to escape that with the roll away, and nearly wanted the reversal again. That up B is going to be enough, and Rald loses his first stock.
Yeah, I wonder if the DI kind of held him back a little bit there, but good DI on that down throw does keep Rald from gaining yet more percent. Escaping the 50-50 and scrapping out with Samus's jab, but this could do it. No, lands on the platform just soon enough. Very, very nice. Jumping over Samus's single hit jab in order to find that forward air. Alright. Up B's out of danger, but Rald doesn't. Misses all of the same. Looks for further punish. Zerosian really wanting to hold center here, as it's very easy for Greninja to get up in your face very quickly.
And with that, things are back to even once again, and I do. Oh, that's a clean conversion. Rald, I like the use of that neutral B turnaround, right? Because that sets up for that possible second back air, but hasn't quite pulled the trigger on those yet. Meanwhile, the down air comboing into the up air for Zerosian. He's got Rald kind of in a pickle here on the corner of the stage. That neutral B connects, making it very difficult to get back to stage, and Rald is able to find his way, but is still at a very high percent. Wants the up smash, still can't find that sweet spot.
And now Zerosian is solely focused on finding a grab, finding a way to get that tether and find an up throw out of it. Yes, there is another one. You have to lean back on charge shot here. I know that Greninja can duck under it very reliably with that low dash, but charge shot makes or breaks many of Samus's tougher interactions, as the substitute misses, finds the throw afterward after placing the bomb and forcing Rald onto ledge. Have to be careful here. Can't let Zerosian get too far ahead. Missing the 50-50 on the air dodging. That's a ton of damage, and the mix. Zerosian almost caught him blinking, but he didn't pull the trigger. Didn't miss that time, though.
Feel the damage, too, just off of one grab that Samus can get. That grab into Nair, I think, did about, 20-ish%, and so now Rald is nearly at 60, and he's still trying to find a way to take Zerosian's stock, as these Zairs to ledge, helping him snap back quickly, and Rald off stage once again. Does he have an answer to get out of this corner? No, the down Bs from Zerosian doing so much work. Rald is eating so much percent. I like the idea of the substitute to get back, but Zerosian reads it with a forward air, and that's a 2-stock to answer.
This was really good play from Zerosian to keep on ledge. Not only the extension off stage, but these bomb traps, as I don't believe we'll only get the one. I don't think we got any of them. But the lead up to all of this was 3 times in a row. The morph ball bomb set on ledge in order to force an option coming out from Rald, and if you picked no option, the situation was reset. But the key thing about it was that Zerosian 3 times over laid a different bomb layout for Rald to try and piece together, and at the high percent, Rald couldn't do it quick enough before the bomb reset. Whether it be a bomb high and low, 2 bombs low, or just a single bomb, it was something that Rald had to adjust to on the fly while at high percent, while also having to think about charge shot and not getting grabbed. It's a lot to think about, as while Greninja has many innate advantages on stage and some keen hurt box shifting to really blow Samus back off stage and on ledge, Samus is at her best, and Zerosian showed that off today. Showed that off in that game 2 at least. Game 3 is where it all makes the money.
We'll have to see who takes that game 3. This was a weird turning point of the match. That substitute, it lands, but then he ends up going off stage with it, and I'm wondering if he meant to, change up the angle and just did so last second, because I thought what was going to happen was he was going to connect with Samus there off of the counter, but no luck. And then I like the idea of using it upwards to try and recover, but again, Zerosian reads it and just says, hey, you're going to fall right about here, and connects with that forward air. So, really well done, like you said, by Zerosian. And like you said, that ledge trapping game was a huge factor, and the fact that you're constantly mixing up those puzzles is another kind of wrinkle to the game plan that Rald is going to have to worry about as we get ready for game number 3.
Yeah, have to pivot to what is presumably a larger stage. That's Final Destination, Smashville, and Lilac were all the bands. So we're going to Final Destination akin, but with some added flair with these platforms, which if we saw in the previous games, the platform setups Rald has very well, but the platform escapism has also been on Zerosian's side. As that air dodge was so good. That little wave line was very nice to get out of Zerosian's way, leaving Rald with this opening at the start. I love these shurikens. They're beating Zerosian at his own game.
That grab is the first time Rald has been touched. This stock is off to a hot start as but Zerosian now kind of settling down for the moment, kind of backing off, but taking the opportunities where he finds them. Rald wanting that nair combo, unable to find it, and this could be a big punish. Dash attack, drag down into the down smash, and that is enough. Stock number 1 off the board of Zerosian.
Zerosian had been hitting those techs for a majority of the game, but that one missed is a crucial one as it leads to a stock. Throw the jab into the pivot grab, a Samus classic setup into the Zair to avoid the platform. Oh, but it doesn't get the right setup, but it doesn't matter as forward air does end up connecting. Forward air again lingers just a little bit too long that Rald didn't want it to. Bomb after bomb, this time a plenty which gets caught by the substitute.
And that substitute, again, coming in clutch there. It seems for Rald to get back to stage. Down smash won't land, though, and the dash attack, surprising amount of knockback on that move, will take the stock.
Yeah, functions completely differently from how it did in many other iterations of Smash throughout the generations. Up until this game, it was a combo starter. Now, it's a kill move.
And I feel like this kind of patient play that we're starting to see Rald is doing a very good job of kind of picking and choosing his moments to go in very well.
Yeah, but it's that level of patience that you can play with a lead, knowing that that Zerosian has to push the initiative as a slower paced character. And when you have confirms like that on lock, you can feel very confident in waiting out your moment to take the stock, because you're not as desperate for one of these raw kill options.
With a full stock lead here for Rald for the side of Montana, this is a big moment for them in terms of this week's results. They are down 12. If they were to drop this set, a comeback would be near impossible. They'd have to get back-to-back 3 stocks. So Rald, this is a key moment for him if he can close out the stock and get some more points on the board. But Zerosian not looking to make it any easier. He will end up eating that counter or substitute, and he's at 89% and forced to the corner once more.
Really trying to be patient on ledge here, trying to change up what happens as the backer doesn't fully connect. The bomb is planted, the charge shot, but doesn't find the dash attack at a little bit too low of a percent for that full confirm. Need a little bit more charge. Zerosian just being a little bit too early on some of these picks, looking for finishers before he finds the proper starter.
And Rald, time and time again, he's finding the down tilt to get them onto that platform, but he can't find the follow-up. But there he does. The down smash covers both rolls, and that will seal away game number 3. Montana stay alive.
This is a rough one. This is part of what makes a matchup like this so hard as we watch this unfold. Zerosian looking to push the initiative and gets pushed back for it. It's so hard to land. Trying to jab is outspaced and goes underneath that Zair. Let me run that back just a little bit. He heads forward. Heads on forward, trying to pressure the landing. Fails because of the water shuriken and feels like he has to retreat. And what? Oh man, just Zair is really great in like a lot of matchups. Zair is really good, but as I just looked at,
it was the dash attack that kind of made him go underneath. He throws out a dash attack underneath this Zair, and that shifts that hurt box again.
Zair is great, but Greninja lives down here, as ninjas tend to do. Sneaking right underneath that Zair, and as soon as the offensive pressure from Zerosian was gone, or it felt like it was gone, and you're picking Samus roll as a defensive option, well, you can see it play out.
And I love the roll read at the end there too from Rald to read that kind of roll away, and that's a 2-stock victory as well for the side of Montana. So that's a handful more points on the board. That makes the scoreline, I believe, 4-13. So Montana, they would still need to win the next, at least get some more points on the board and win the next set to, make this week winnable. But not out of the woods by any means. Now the players have been locked in for this next set. It is Colo for the side of Montana versus Katsuji for Colorado. Colo, we saw in Montana's debut, played hero and lost that set against, I believe it was DePaul. And then on the flip side, Katsuji, this was a huge player last season, but this season he has had it rough. 2-6 between his Sheik and his Luigi, but he has gone up against some of also the best players on a lot of these teams. Darth Wampa from Hawaii, Yosefu from Mississippi State, Mr. L from St. John's, Skull Kid from DePaul, and Spencer from Marquette are just some of his losses this season, which is why that record seems a little skewed for one of the biggest names on the Buffalo's roster.
Yeah, and if you're putting your big names to the test, then sometimes the record doesn't look the same. But that's why it's a team-based effort. Zerosian and Katsuji go toe-to-toe with some of what seemed like the the best players that the team, at least what the team determines the best players on the roster. And even if that previous set didn't come out a win, Zeroshin still took that game, that second game with a 2-stock, kind of mitigating the damage as only a net 3-point swing.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Yeah, and we get to see if Katsuji is able to, even if he's not able to take the set, minimizing the damage is, while you're at a, what is this, an 8-point lead? Yeah, an 8-point lead already. Like, it's a pretty effective strategy to get out early and to play that solid game, even if you're not taking sets. You're only losing the lead by 1 or 2 points.
That being said, an 8-point lead does mean that if Colorado take this set, they do end up getting the victory this week. So for Montana, this week it rides on this next one, Colo versus Katsuji, and we'll have to see. Colo again played Hero last week, seems to be riding it out here, and Katsuji, the Luigi, is back. Very different type of matchup. We don't typically see a lot of Heroes or Luigis in this scene, but the ones that do show up have been very successful.
There's a lot to enjoy, I guess, about Luigi as a Luigi player. There's just so much that your opponent that you have your opponent weighing on their mind. These grab combos are just so effective. Zaire being active for 52 frames, almost a full second. On top of just having normal Mario Brother good stuff, quote unquote, having a strong up smash, some solid tilts, and a good suite of aerials. He's a more extreme version of his brother, but that extremities can lead to some very, very promising wins. Meanwhile, Colo, though, I don't believe has pulled up the menu once, which is usually surprising given Hero. There it is. Hero's big claim to fame is that menu being so flexible, and when you high roll spells like Kaboom, despite the 30 plus mana cost, that's what you're paying for.
And on top of that too, like, we have seen the menu get used a little bit, but it's mainly been almost basically top decking, right? Just in and out real quick. If it's not the one he wants at the top of the menu, he's probably not using it. And right now, things even for the moment, but a lot of MP being used by Colo this stock in particular. He'll have to be careful as he's only got so much of that and he's off stage, but the whack comes through and connects, and Katsuji loses a stock for it.
That's GG's, you know. You got outplayed. The whack is a funny thing, but it was a weighted coin flip into Colo's favor. Once you surpass about 55%, whack is about a 50% chance to kill. So 70 usually is going to lead, it's like a 60-40 kind of spot. And it gets Colin a chance to play a little bit more safe, but that forward smash was definitely a high roll attempt at a read. Hey, it could have taken. Those crits are dangerous.
I will say, Colo did such a good job of surviving with such little MP left in the tank, but now he's off stage. That back air, he thought he had to tech it and air dodged instead, and Katsuji steals game one.
Just a little bit of back air, and even if that back air didn't close out this stock, you have to wonder, does the Whoosh series have enough juice to get through the stage, given the position they were in? Like, once you get under this canopy, it's real hard for linear recoveries to find a way forward.
Yeah, you have to wonder too, right? If he had enough in the tank to fade over like that. But either way, it is a one-stock victory for the side of Colorado in that first game. Add another point to the board, and Colo now back up against the wall here. We'll have to see how he does. This was an interesting matchup in terms of just, it felt very back and forth, but for kind of odd reasons, right? The spells just kept landing for Colo, But then also the MP, when it mattered, was really gone for Colo, and he couldn't make use of a lot of that kit.
Yeah, it's a tenuous matchup for when you want to play, for how you want to play as hero, which is why fishing for buffs is just so prevalent. And the projectile suite, while very effective, as we see that whack in 4K slow motion, you can get spots like that where Kaboom and Whack just do so much work. But when it comes to Luigi, you don't want to be messing with the plumber. So finding things like Accelerado and Psych Up Psych Up and as a means to boost your damage output and make Katsuji's combos a little bit more awkward, those are arguably a little bit stronger, which is why I like the use of a lot more of the Zap and series, Zap and Zapple, being so strong at zoning opposing players out. But it's hard to start zoning when your opponent is just already in.
Yeah, Katsuji has done so much work. I think he's found at least, 2-3 grabs this stock, and Colo already up to 112. And now he's starting to find some chip damage onto Katsuji. Picks up bounce along the way. That up B won't clank or clash with the up B from Luigi, so both will be able to make it back to stage safely as Katsuji trying to pick his moment to go in once again. And Magic Burst being used, he'll just back away from that. And now, no MP on the hero. Now's the time for Katsuji to move in.
And so he does with that rising back air before Colo has a chance to do anything about it. He lands the second down air, but misses the finishing up B, though Colo misses the punish in turn. I have to wonder what some of these down airs are from Colo, who has been throwing them out a surprising amount of times, and I don't think one of them has landed. Same with that up smash. It's not particularly good, to say the least.
Yeah, the down air is kind of a specific thing to throw out, and now if you're Colo, you're in a real deep hole. That Luigi combo that started off this stock, it may not have gotten the kill, it may not have been the flashy Luigi that we love to see, but it did so much damage that, yeah, the back throw from the ledge is going to do it. Now Colo on his last stock here, and Katsuji, he is surviving at 139 now after that up throw.
You need something like a Psych Up to really boost that up throw kill range. That's hunting for grabs and hunting for movement with that Accelerado, but not doing. Oh, the spell didn't come out in time as he got blocked out by the up smash. This is just slowly but steadily fading into Katsuji's favor. Weak back air into the down air. The attempted recovery, or the lazy drift, getting called out by Katsuji, who had nothing to lose, so that runoff down air will do the trick. As Katsuji takes that game with a 3 stock, putting his team of Colorado firmly in advantage. 19-5 is now the score, and I don't think this is doable for Montana points wise, but it is doable for this last set. Is still worth it to play out.
Yeah, not winnable for the side of Montana anymore, but Katsuji, this was a really strong showing, and I really appreciate that last, runoff down air, because this is what Katsuji had been doing to Colo all game. Just the Zairs off ledge kept interrupting Colo's recovery, and finally, the one time, Colo in this moment, he's only got 30 MP. He can only recover for so long. So to go for that run up down air in that moment, it felt like the perfect type of setup.
Yeah, it's metered, and it's a metered response to how there was a more heavy focus on Colo's part for the base suite of spells. And those spells can take up a lot of MP. Zapple is a solid 20%, 20 MP chunk. The Frizz series, excuse me, takes up a whole bunch in and of itself. So when Kola was left where he was trying to be conservative, it was a perfect moment for Katsuji to push the offense. We saw it with the first stock, we saw it with the last one.
And with that, I mean, that is a huge momentum boost, too. It's been a minute since we've seen Katsuji. That was his first match, I believe, of this spring split. And after, you know, a 2-6 run in the fall split, a win like that, I think, is a huge momentum boost. And with the point spread being the way it is at the moment, this is a huge win for Colorado.
Yeah, it'll be good to put that onto their backs and carry that further through this split. But there is one more match to go, of course, as Endure and Forgot My Rice do step up to the final plate. Endure, formerly known as AIV, who is the captain of the team, and Forgot My Rice, while not the captain, is going to be playing the role of anchor and seeing what they can do.
Yeah, Forgot My Rice is, I think this is the second week in a row that he has been the anchor for Montana, and when he made his first appearance, he played Yoshi, so I expect to see the Yoshi, unless there is a possible switch up here. No, now that I think about it, Yoshi, I think, if I remember correctly, tends to struggle with swords, and AIV, one of the most proficient Ikes here in the EGF, so Endure, I should say, as that is the tag he is opted to switch to. Either way, Ike versus Yoshi, not a matchup we typically see, but if history holds true, this could be a big challenge for Forgot My Rice.
Yeah, they'll have to see with the button check. Of course, Yoshi is flexible enough to deal with just about any character, as you know, the tri-state area would know, given the plethora of Yoshis that are able to power through so many different brackets. But Ike, while Ike may not be currently favored in the full meta because it feels like his place was surmounted by characters like Roy and by characters like Roy getting more attention and characters like Aegis being released, Ike still has everything you need in a sword character. Big sword, a lot of power, some solid out of shield, and very good extendable combos, a flexible neutral, as well as just the airspeed to keep up with just about anyone in the cast. He's a surprisingly well fleshed out character, given his origins in this game as just a Nair machine. Those changes that he got really helped him out.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because I mean, those Nairs too, they do still work, but against Forgot My Rice and against Yoshi, maybe not as much. As Forgot My Rice right now at a little bit of a percent deficit for the moment, but Endure just doing a very good job of, I think, maintaining his space and making it difficult for Forgot My Rice to get anything really started.
And he's certainly enduring the initial onslaught from coming out from Forgot My Rice, looking for that the late Nair into the up air, but is able to still follow up all the same. The strong Nair that time, not taking the stock, but the up air didn't pull the trigger on the up air quite yet. Ooh, that edge cancel was super clean, finding the spacing to slide right off these PS2 platforms and close out the stock with a falling back air.
And that's something Endure has been really good at, those edge cancels with that side B. The spacing on those, he's been very good. And then, you know, holding on sometimes to opt to go to that ledge, that's something that you'll have to watch for, as Forgot My Rice really struggling to challenge it, Endure, especially when they, you know, find that hit to get them off stage.
Just that rising there is going to get caught by an up tilt, and there we go. Endure calling out the drift, just going straight to center, but Forgot My Rice calling out a drift of his opponent, catching with the back hit of that up smash, as Endure is looking like they are holding on to this lead, but Forgot My Rice still showing some life. This is a hard matchup, man.
It is. I mean, you look at Forgot My Rice. He's at 69%, and just it feels like every time he tries to move in, he hits a shield or he gets hit by a forward air or something. There's always just something in the way for him, and even if you use something like double jump armor to try and get back, it's not that easy, as you're seeing. Just nowhere for Forgot My Rice to go to, and the forward tilt connects, and Endure gets a 2-stock in game number 1.
Just consistently put on ledge and battered away, and as those percents get higher, Yoshi cannot rely on his double jump armor, because it's not true super armor. It doesn't power through anything. It scales dependent on his own percent, and Ike's got a big heavy sword that he's swinging around rather freely. So breaking through that double jump armor doesn't take too much punishment on Ike's part, and Endure exploited that very heavily.
And Yoshi does have kill moves. Yoshi does has the ability. Does have the ability to take stocks. The problem is, I think most of them kind of rely on, some sort of setup, something like up air or up tilt into, another aerial. And when you can't, really approach in the first place because of just how well Endure is playing defensively, it's going to look like this, where it's just a struggle to go anywhere.
And hopefully the reduction of the space will change up how Forgot My Rice handles a matchup like this, as small battlefield will be the pick going for for Forgot My Rice. Names aside, the smaller stage but the same platform layout should still benefit Yoshi largely, as the platforms still are susceptible to Yoshi's up smash, but hopefully you're able to smother the Ike a little bit more and get that grab. It's the grab game of Endure that's really been so impressive in both of these games. Just able to get so much advantage by taking what Rice is giving to him.
And Endure, too, those grabs, that's something that I think he has been thriving off of throughout the regular season. Just in general, finding times where he can go for grabs, because, again, just approaching this Ike in general, it has not been easy. So for him to find those grabs, too, get those extra little combos to continue to chip away at stocks, been a huge part of his success, as almost tracking down the movement once again there, but unable to do so. The forward tilt connects. Forgot My Rice staying alive, finds the up B, but the Nair is doing so much work. And already at 134, Forgot My Rice has to find something here. Otherwise, Endure, he's off to another big early lead.
134, he could have taken the stock earlier with one of these up tilts that have been very well spaced and just narrowly blocked by Forgot My Rice. He's decided not to try and deal with that ether, instead looking to take center as early and as often as possible. And these empty hop mix-ups are just really doing a number on Rice. Empty hop into forward tilt, especially so, being so prominent in Endure's game plan, but you still have to be very wary of some of these landing nairs and back airs regardless.
Endure, once again, with stage control, but Forgot My Rice able to take it from him, but only for a moment. And it feels like Forgot My Rice, even if they get in, Endure has done a good job of kind of getting out of any real combos, as Forgot My Rice gonna fall to another up air. Endure just continuing to press just the small battlefield pick. We talked about how it's gonna cut down on the amount of space, but I feel like that's just made it harder, because Endure right now is just cutting down. It's almost like an anaconda, just slowly wrapping their way around and suffocating the amount of room Forgot My Rice has to work with.
Well, when you have a big disjoint like that, the only amount of space that matters is the room that you are permitting yourself to get by that sword. And unfortunately, wide arcing aerials that Endure has been putting out are just covering all of the all over the room that Forgot My Rice wants to occupy, and it's been a struggle since, as the landing using the jump too early, and that was caught. The landing was caught absolutely by that dash attack, as that is going to send the game off of a 2-stock into a 3-stock, netting a total of 7 points in the finale for Endure and his team.
So Colorado, they get the victory this week, and a well-deserved one. Endure, really the big performer this week for them, as he and N combined for almost, well, approaching half the score of Colorado. They really put out big performances this weekend. And Endure in particular, I mean, you know, if the game plan ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I feel like that was the story of this set.
Yeah, it just was Ike doing Ike things, and that if you're able to approach a matchup where your character's base normal tools, like what you go into every matchup, every game doing, is able to shut down another character or another playstyle, or however you want to press it, normally that's seen as a pretty winning matchup.
Yeah. And Endure able to take full advantage of it. For Forgot My Rice, I mean, again, there were opportunities, but the advantage was never really pressed. They were able to find, you know, a couple of bits of chip damage here and there, but at the end of the day, when you can't really get any combos going on a character like Yoshi, who, you know, they do have some combos, it's gonna look like that. It's just going to be a you know, match where you look down at your controller and you go, man, what do I do? What am I doing?
Yeah, we had a couple of those today, but at the hands of the University of Colorado's top tier talents in Endure and N. But we will be getting Solati, I believe, coming out for an interview. So hold on to your hats. We'll be right back with that interview to close out the night right after this break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGFC. We are here with Slatty from Colorado after their victory over Montana. Slatty, how do you guys feel about your performance this week?
I think we're feeling really great. I mean, just coming right into this season, we're kind of taking things a little bit differently this time. I'm just now promoted to team captain, all that stuff. So I'm trying to get the boys in shape this season, you know what I'm saying? So different practices than what we're used to. Still all over the internet cuz COVID, right? But it's a little bit different from what we're used to. My regimen for this week has, I mean, only one person showed up to practice. My practice, I'm talking to you, Connor. Thank you for that. That meant the world to me. But all I had them do was get 3 different characters into Elite Smash. 3 characters in 2 hours. And, you know, I mean, 2 hours to get 3 characters into Elite Smash, that can be easy or hard. But if it's easy for you, it's easy for you. And if it's hard for you, it's hard for you. But you pick your characters and you can do it. But that's my new regimen. That's the new game plan to get people more just thinking about the game, you know, thinking about different matchups, just neutral in general. So that's just been my game plan.
Well, it seemed to have paid off in quite the big fashion with quite the domineering win. Like, how does each game progressing, and as your talent like keeps progressing further with each one of those wins, how does the morale improve or change, or if it doesn't change at all?
We had one goal going into this split, and it's to stay undefeated. It's to stay undefeated. We're gonna win the split. That's the goal. And we're up 2 on the season on the split. And if we're able to hold that, we're gonna try and shoot that into the next week. If we can go 2-0, we're gonna shoot for 3-0, 3-0, go to 4-0. But if we lose, not that I necessarily am expecting that, but if that does happen, it's okay. Morale on the team is, if you mess up, you mess up, but we're a team. We're not gonna get mad at you or spank you in the locker room. What the hell? But the morale, it doesn't matter if we necessarily win or lose, but the W is a W.
Yeah, and like you said, undefeated so far this split, and I guess that kind of plays into something I wanted to ask about. That fall split, it was a little bit rough for you guys. You had a lot of matchups against a lot of tough teams. I think you had to play against Mississippi State twice.
They're hard.
In that first split. You had that game against Marquette that was tough. There were a lot of very close games, and now you come into the second part of the season with a lot of in-conference games in a conference that's really, it had a lot of playoff teams, or at least a lot of teams in this conference made the playoffs last season. So what was the difference maker from, last season to this split?
Matchups, baby. It starts with the matchup every single time, especially on Wi-Fi. Teams like MSU, Marquette, they've got Simons. They've got DePaul has Simons, and it's scary. But it's Wi-Fi, and it's a completely different game from just playing in person. Not only because you're not in a necessarily traditional tournament setting playing against your person in a one-on-one sense like Smash is usually done, but it's kind of like a crew battle type format, But that being said, because of these circumstances, we have to know exactly what matchups we are going against prior. That's very important. So we're doing scouting, all of that sort of stuff. And we're watching other teams very, very closely this semester so that we know. And also we have different people on our teams, like myself, pulling out different characters other than my Pokemon trainer, because I know that it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and you got to play to your environment, which then leads into, of course, your own regimen of being flexible with characters and with different matchup spreads. But hey, it really seemed to work out during this split. What do you think was the major change for the in between the current split and the previous split? Did you really have to do some introspective before this split even started, or did you want to change something up from a team dynamic standpoint?
I'll tell you what happened over winter break. The boys needed a break, we don't have to get too deep into it. Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff, but the boys needed a break, right? Last split, we were in the thick of it, playing these really good teams back-to-back weeks. We had in the split, I believe we played MSU twice at the beginning and the end, and they're brutal. I believe they have I think Maze might have switched the tag, but yeah, really good players. But having to play them twice in one season at the beginning and the end, that's a little bit demeaning. If you lose that set like that, to start the split, to end the split like that, not great looks. But we're not playing them this split, we don't have to start off our season with an L or finish our season with an L. We're starting off strong. The boys got a break. We're ready to get on sticks again,
Absolutely. You talked about how there's there's a certain degree of kind of homework that goes in now to these to the matchups. Next week, you guys get Sacramento State, who is a newcomer to the EGF as of this split. What does the homework and the preparation look like for a matchup like that? Sacramento
State, huh? I'm gonna have to look up that school first. I'm I'm actually originally from California, so shout out Sacramento.
Ah,
Um,
nice.
Not living there currently, been in Colorado for the last like 11 years at this point. But yeah, the homework, probably figuring out what the heck goes on in Sacramento. Because I have no clue what their scene looks like. I always hear about NorCal, SoCal. They're kind of SenCal. I know about Sen Coast, but I don't really know about Sacramento region. So guess we'll have to figure it out, huh?
Some work to go into during the week, in addition to everything else, of course. But is there any final touches, mentions to the boys that you have called out ever so frequently in this game? Any final shout-outs?
I can give some shout outs. First shout outs Boulder and everyone who pulls up to our locals every single Wednesday. Y'all are the freaking world to me. Shout outs Buttons on Wake Up. That is Colorado's premier like tournament organization that puts together Smash events. Recently got me a job, pretty cool. Doing merch for them. So shout outs Buttons on Wake Up. Yeah, just the community in Colorado in general. And then shout out Goomwave.
Okay, shout outs to Goomwave. Let's go.
Shout out Goomwave.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Slatty. Congrats on your victory this week. And we'll see you guys next week when you guys play against Sacramento State.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, y'all.
All right. And with that, that really wraps up the week for us here at the EGF. It was a wild week 11, lots of in-conference matchups, and those are going to continue on throughout the season. But this was to wrap up the day. I mean, this was a fun match, and all of these matches. I mean, the EGF just brings something new every week.
Yeah, it's been a interesting ride, and going into the thick of it with much of this interconference play being set up for the finale of the season. It's going to be a wild ride to the very end. Just remember to keep holding on, to keep supporting your team, keep supporting your locals, and first and foremost, enjoy the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will do it for us. If you like the content here, remember to follow EGF SSBU along with official EGF and official EGF2 to catch all the other matches. We've got different games on the EGF across the board every week. You know, Tuesdays are Super Smash Bros. Tomorrow's Rocket League. After that, it's Overwatch, and so on and so forth. So be sure to tune in for your game and your school. If you like our content, our Twitters are located below us. And also, thank you to production, House of 3000. They are the ones putting this on. They have been fantastic throughout both the fall split and this split. It's been a pleasure to work with Devin and Dill. And also to the EGF, for allowing us on here, for allowing us to cast these brilliant games. It has been a blast this season. But that is it for us this week to wrap up week 11. Tune in next week for week 12, and we'll see you there.